Isn't it wild that two major films starring one of India's biggest actors have been sitting in limbo for years? One you might have heard is Hani Trehan's Punjab 95, which by the way I have seen. Second is this comedy we're about to get into now, a film I hadn't even heard of until like last week. Hey all, my name is Sucharita. Welcome back to my channel, jahan aaj we are talking about debut filmmaker Ravi Chhabria's Detective Sherdil, starring Diljit Dosanjh in the titular role, accompanied by Banita Sandhu, Diana Penty, Ratna Pathak Shah, Boman Irani, Chunky Pandey, Sumit Vyas in the lead roles. It's a mystery, na? To bahut sare log hain. So, a phrase appears on the screen in text as the film opens. I have a problem for every solution, attributed to the titular detective. So, sure, you're like, this is going to be a comedy about a foolish man who messes things up despite his best intentions. And for somebody who may not be very familiar with Diljit Dosanjh's comedy acting, it's a great promise to see him play the fool. However, soon your expectations deflate as you realize, like this clumsily handed opening line, most of this film will just about plop onto the screen. Directed, edited, and co-written by Ravi Chhabria, who shares writing credit with Sagar Bajaj and producer Ali Abbas Zafar, Detective Sherdil seems like a passion project caught in the tides of time. Though delayed for many years, the film hasn't aged visually. The VFX hold up and the actors still, mostly all of them, look the same. However, Diljit is Detective Sherdil, alright? He describes himself as a cross between Sherlock, Byomkesh and Karamchand. Diana Penty is his colleague, whom we are told he doesn't get along with. It's a little detail that is quickly forgotten as they continue to work on solving a high-profile murder case. Who's dead? Indian businessman Pankaj Bhatti. The biggest mystery to me here is why a bunch of entirely Indian-sounding Indians work in Budapest law enforcement. The film doesn't want to occupy the same universe, the same world as Houseful 5, where Jackie Shroff and Sanjay Dutt are meant to be convincing as UK Interpol officers, but inadvertently, it does. So, Bhatti is murdered, and like any self-respecting comedy whodunit, everyone who has ever stepped foot inside Bhatti's mansion is a suspect. Family, friends, staff alike. To set up the scene and fill many blanks, the film relies on the laziest tool imaginable while writing a murder mystery, a fourth wall breaking voiceover, all of which is delivered by Sherdil talking directly to the audience. He tells us about his life, about his thoughts on the case, and also inexplicably sets up scenes in time gone by and places he's not even at, entirely bypassing the need for developing a confident thriller in favor of speed. Jaldi se karo. You see, Sherdil is a quirky little annoying genius. He sits fully clothed in bathtubs filled with ice cubes and he signals transitions between scenes using this mouth organ that's always just like sitting in his pocket. The character is written with very little care or nuance and it relies too heavily on the charisma of the actor playing him. Diljit in return shows as much interest in bringing Sherdil to life as he has showed in promoting the film, which is to say, not at all.
A man rode up on a bike, shot him, and blew up his car.
Honestly, the most interesting portions of this film are filler B-roll shots with cinematographer Marcin Laskiewicz as Sherdil drones on in voiceover. Mute the visuals here and add kinny in the background and you have yourself a viral Instagram reel. Accha, so the other thing one can perhaps sink their teeth into would be the power dynamics within his family. कि धीरे धीरे हम भी सुराग ढूंढे और शेरदिल से पहले इस mystery को हम solve कर लेंगे murder भट्टी साहब का किसने किया. However, children's board games have better edged out suspects than this film. There's the widow, Ratna Pathak Shah, and in case you couldn't tell that she's a suspect here, the camera very helpfully shows us a stack of books next to her. Carrie, Gone Girl, and one is simply titled Stephen King. A good-for-nothing freeloading son, his white wife, and the apple of Bhatti's eye, his daughter Shanti. Banita Sandhu is named thus because she is deaf and mute, which is a choice. Her boyfriend, also deaf and mute, is named Purvak. Together they are Shanti Purvak. A pun for the ages in case you forgot this is a comedy film. Chunky Pandey is also a suspect, a vaguely spiritual shaman-like figure who lives in the garden. I will not explain further. Detective Sherdil does exhibit a certain visual ambition. There is an attempt to give it a palette. Old European architecture is there, rain-slicked streets, interiors are baroque. And there's some fun to look at VFX as well. But because the film lacks rhythm, little of it actually comes together as texture. Sherdil pronounces the case a classic whodunit, and authentic to the genre of a classic whodunit, there are beats that are all there. There's a murder, a house of suspects, family secrets, eccentric investigator, except none of it is elevated or presented in ways one has not seen before. Dare I say the final twist was visible from about the middle of the middle build? But if you are a ride or die Diljit Dosanjh fan and you just want to watch him bumble around in Budapest, Detective Sherdil is now streaming on Z5. Maybe you'll enjoy it more than I did. The film that I did enjoy is the still unreleased Punjab 95. इसकी इंटरनेशनल रिलीज होने वाली थी, रुक गई. टोरंटो फिल्म फेस्टिवल से फिल्म ड्रॉप हो गई. Have you followed that whole saga? Maybe we'll talk about Punjab 95 in another video soon. करते हैं कुछ. For now, subscribe to my channel. My name is Sucharita. Thank you for stopping by.